West Holmes Knights Football Weekly Preview Show on WKLM.
This week's Knights Football Weekly Preview Show brought to you by Village Motors in Millersburg. I'm Matt Quay alongside Mike Kenzie, and West Holmes the dominant 62-28 victory over Lexington in Knight Stadium on Friday for their third consecutive victory. And hard to believe, Mike, at one point that was a 21-21 ball game, but all West Holmes after that.
You're absolutely right. That was the turning point of the game. I mean, it was a good game up until that point, but right at halftime when we put up those two quick scores, it was game over. You could have started the vehicle and went home then.
No question, and this certainly was the Kyle Maltrich show, really doing it all for West Holmes that night.
We all know Kyle's an athlete. You know, everyone knows he's an athlete. I mean, and his teammates, they practice with him every day. And he really showed that on Friday night with his explosiveness. Just able to see the field. It's like he sees things happen before anybody else does. But he had a spectacular game. He sure did.
Scoring touchdowns as a receiver. Obviously, the pick six on defense, punting the ball, whatever he had to do to help out West Holmes that night, he did. And really on the defensive end, maybe the best defensive performance by West Holmes all year long. Even a couple of those scores early on were probably offensive mistakes, and then the late score given up by the second-team defense. But overall, the first-team defense really had a good night.
Yeah, I agree with you. As a whole, I think it was probably the most complete game that West Holmes has played this year, offensively, defensively. We played with some emotions. I saw some emotions out there, kids getting fired up after they make a play, and, that goes a long ways. When you're having fun, you usually play well.
I'll say, Mike, that was a game they needed, isn't it? I mean, going down this final stretch of the regular season, they needed to have a game like that.
Well, we sure did. We had a couple defeats earlier in the year or in the mid-year, but, we're a good team, and you move on. You like we said earlier, we're going to make it to the playoffs, and good teams, they'll go on. So, just hang right in there, and we'll have a good ending to this season.
And West Holmes, their 22nd consecutive home with victory as well. Let's go out to Knight Stadium right now to talk more about that in this week's matchup, of course, as they take on the Ashland Arrows. Jake Seidel's alongside head coach Zach Gardner.
Thanks, Matt. Here with West Holmes head coach Zach Gardner. Coach, Lexington coming in, they put together a pretty good season, but your team, I think, played their best all-around game of the season on homecoming Friday night. What can you tell us about that game?
Yeah, we were preaching to our kids about playing complementary football, having our special teams, our defense, and our offense all clicking at the same time. And we definitely came out and made big plays in all three phases of the game. And that's just a testament of the culture that our kids are embracing and enacting in this program. I said this before the game last week. It just felt different last week. We got a young football team, but they walked around and they had that confidence. They had we told them, it feels like you guys have the mojo back, and that's how it felt out at practice, in the locker room, just walking through the halls of the school, and just very proud of the way that the kids took that preparation and turned it into success on Friday night, and it was a good one for us.
And it looked like you were going to be in for another slugfest through the first about quarter and a half, but then your defense able to get some big key stops. You're able to get the 2-touchdown lead going into halftime.
Yeah, our kids on defense, we talked about it, how at the end of that Worcester game, getting stops on those 3 drives, our defense went out and made plays, and, that created a spark and got that snowball rolling downhill. And, our kids definitely carried that over to Lexington, and we're going to have to continue to get better and continue to make plays and continue to play complementary football if we want to beat a very good Ashland team.
Coach, Kyle Maltrich had his best game of the season. He got 2 touchdowns, including one that put you up 2 scores right before halftime, and then that big pick 6 later on in the game. What can you tell us about what kind of a dimension that brings to your team?
I mean, all you got to do is look where the young man is going to further his education at. When you're a Division I Ivy League type of kid, that tells you everything you know about Kyle Maltrich. What you see in the Yale wants kids that are good leaders, the great teammates, right? Block well, just phenomenal young men, and that's what Kyle Maltrich is. And the plays that he went out and made on Friday, that touchdown before half, that's one for the vault, and scoring with 2 seconds left, throwing him a screen low, and him making it happen the rest of the way with some great blocks, from his teammates. That was a very, very special play.
Heading up to Ashland this week, Coach, it always seems like it's a tough place for anyone to go in and play. and with a team that took Mansfield Senior down to the wire last week. What are you guys doing to get ready, and what do you want to see out of your team Friday night?
You know, when you get a Scott Valentine coach team that their offensive line is going to be good, their offense is going to be well coached, and their defense is going to be very multiple. You know, they're going to be able to get in and out of looks and try to frustrate you as an offense. So, you know, we're prepared to go for another slugfest against there are no off weeks in the OCC. You have to bring it every week, and Ashland is just another one of those big games for us that we're going to have to again play complementary football. We're going to have to continue to do the things that we've been doing successfully and continue to get better, because you either get better or you get worse. You never stay the same, and we're pushing our kids hard to get better. And if they do, I think we can find ourselves in position to win against a high-quality program like Ashland.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time today. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Here with West Holmes, Jack Marmot. And Jack, a great game against Lexington Friday night from the defensive standpoint. I know you had a sack. What kind of went into the game plan?
We were just trying to capitalize on what we've been doing. We weren't off to a good start with our defense. Our offense has always been balling out, and it was hard to win a game if our defense let up 40 points like against Worcester, and we were just trying to do better from that. And our main focus for the practices were be better and go back to our defensive fundamentals and do what we can to help out our offense.
And, you know, I was talking to Coach. I said this might have been your team's best all-around performance of the season.
Yeah, we had a couple mistakes here and there with the botched snap down in the 1 yard line over there, and they ended up scoring from that. But we just picked each other up and helped each other out. And whenever one position messed up, the other person helped out.
You've got Ashland this week. You know, Ashland can be a tough place to play sometime, but what are you and the rest of the defense doing to get ready?
We're just trying to contain the quarterback because he's got a really good arm, and contain the run. They have a really good running back there, and he can find a hole, and we're just trying to fit that hole and make sure we don't get too deep and they don't run all over us.
Well, Jack, thanks for your time today. Good luck on Friday against Ashland.
Thank you.
We'll send it back to Matt Croy at Village Motors.
All right, Jake, thanks. Alongside Mike Kinsey once again from Village Motors. And Mike, as always, if you're looking for Ford F-150s, this is the place to go.
Yeah, you know, we've got a full row of F-150s. We even have some Super Duties here on stock. You know, we haven't for a long time, but I think we have 4 of them here, and we have plenty of F-150s. So if you're looking for a truck for work or for pleasure, come and see us.
I know Village Motors takes a lot of pride in being the commercial track headquarters as well.
Yeah, you know, we live in a good working area, and we're very lucky with that. Work ethics are good in Holmes County, and luckily a lot of the guys do come here and buy from us, and we've been doing it for a long time, and I hope we can continue to do it.
Looking for trucks? Stop on by Village Motors on Worcester Road in Millersburg or on the web, villagemotorsinc.com. West Holmes will be back on the road this Friday night in Community Stadium to take on the Ashland Arrows. West Holmes now 5-2. They won 3 straight. They're 3-1 in the OCC. Ashland is 4-3 on the season. They're 2-2 in the OCC, coming off a narrow loss to conference leader Mansfield Senior on the road last week by the score of 14-6. Of course, last year in Knight Stadium, West Holmes won really in a high-scoring affair over Ashland, 63-39 for the 3rd straight win over the Ashland Arrows. But this year, Ashland's team, Mike, look at their sophomore quarterback, 6'5" sophomore, talented quarterback, and Nathan Bernhardt, of course, coached again by Scott Valentine, back for another stint, guiding this Ashland program. So kind of an up-and-down season for them, but still a very dangerous Ashland team.
They're always dangerous, especially when you have Coach Valentine there. He's a friend of mine, and he's a great coach, great role model. And if, you know, they're good now and they're going to get better. And like you said, they got an outstanding quarterback that someday is going to be able to throw the ball around with accuracy. And, yeah, it's always a good game, good rivalry game.
And their defense has been very good, allowing just 16 points a game so far this season, but obviously a different challenge taking on this West Holmes offense.
Yeah, we know we can score points, and we'll talk about that maybe next week, how good their defense was.
We'll find out here with that, of course, this Friday night when West Holmes takes on this Ashland team. We will be back on FM 95.3 and WKLMFM.com for that game on Friday, so don't miss that. We will not be on video. We were not permitted to be on video this Friday, but again, we'll have it on the radio as well as the internet. Our hometown football Friday night pregame shows at 6 p.m. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. For Mike Kinsey, special thanks also to Jake Seidel, Zach Gardner, and Jack Marmot. I'm Matt Croy, and that's been this week's Knights Football Weekly Preview Show brought to you by Village Motors.
Thank you for watching the West Holmes Knights Football Weekly Preview Show on WKLM.